Dear beautiful people, today I want to talk to you about how to ride the emotional wave. What do I mean by that? Well, we are all experiencing on the physical level and on energetic levels feelings. Now, feelings are a form of energy and they have a direction of movement. When we stifle this movement or block this movement, this is when we get physically or psychologically ill. Now, much of the illnesses that we experience come from blocking that emotional energy. And I want to give you an example for this. Well, let's say you have a pet and that pet develops a terminal illness. Now you see the process of the slow death of this very beloved creature. And maybe you experience even how this being dies in your arms. Now, in these moments, with our limited perspective, we can experience very intense emotions. Sadness, a feeling of powerlessness. Maybe we have beliefs that this should not occur, this should not happen. So, when we experience those emotions, what we do when we are in a state of resistance based on our beliefs, we do not live the emotions fully. So, for example, if we deem those emotions too overwhelming, we withdraw our consciousness from the body into the thought process in order to numb ourselves. But in truth, this emotional wave is incoming and it's moving, and the withdrawal just leads to you not being able to process that emotion. So many of us, when we experience a situation where we are confronted with impermanence, the limits that we feel are imposed on us by physical experiences, then we get into a state of resistance. But in truth, our deeper self wants to experience fully, wants to express fully, take full advantage of this learning experience here. So as such, when we, for example, experience the death of a beloved being, well, in truth, we only experience the death of the physical body, and we experience sadness because of our attachment to the form that this being was manifested in. Still, when that emotional energy of sadness overcomes us, so to say, and we start withdrawing from the feeling because we think this is too overwhelming, I don't accept this is too painful, then this energy is still within our system because we didn't allow ourselves to experience fully. And if we don't experience fully, the emotional wave cannot be expressed, so as such we're stuck with that energy and it is pushed into the unconscious where it exists as suppressed memory that still has a certain energy charge. Now this energy charge attracts experiences of the same vibrational level. Because deep down you desire another experience like that, to take full advantage of it, to fully experience, fully express emotion, and to learn. But on the level of ego, on the level of person, you might not know this. So then you withdraw your consciousness from the body. Instead, what I would like to encourage you is in difficult situations to do the exact opposite. Instead of getting into a disassociation, you go deeply into the emotional energy within the physical body and you stop all physical resistance. That means you do not create a fight or flight response. What would be a fight or flight response? Well, a fight or flight response would be, for example, tensing up the shoulders, making the jaw hard, moving your hands, muscle tension in your hands, grabbing your hands. These are, in a sense, reactions to your emotional energy. Now, if you do not react to this energy on a physical level, but instead you fully go into the emotional energy within your body and you experience it, you don't build any resistance, you're not withdrawing your consciousness from these emotions, then you start processing those emotions, transmuting them, transforming them, and ultimately transcending them. But if we're in resistance to our emotions, we become neurotic. That means the energy is still within the system, we're just in denial of it. So when we experience sadness, grief, powerlessness, fear, feel those emotions. Do not resist them. Don't be afraid of them. Instead, become deeply curious about what is the origin of these feelings, these emotions, these energetic waves that run through your energy field and through your body. Become one with them. Get into a union with the experience. And when you do that, you will start transcending the experience. Now, when we see certain Buddhist teachers or monks that barely respond to situations that for many people would create a huge amount of distress, it is not because they're in resistance to the experience. It's not because they are so disassociated that they don't feel that energy. But they're very capable of understanding that they're not trapped within that energy. So what we're looking for here is detachment, not disassociation, but detachment comes from a state of deeply allowing. So many beings who are spiritually quite involved do not mind to cry, do not mind to express emotion, because they're riding the wave like a surfer would. The emotional energy comes, and you're riding along with it, and then it starts slowly dissipating. Though nothing of that energy in its original sense when it was arising then remains. It is transformed, it is transmuted, because you were allowing your consciousness to fully witness it. So your consciousness deep down is satisfied. If your consciousness cannot fully witness it, it will desire to re-experience it. So as such, there will be neurotic memory within you that attracts similar experience, and that is karma. So when you face limitations, when you face death, I strongly encourage you not to get into a state of resistance, but instead to fully live these emotions. And if you do this, for example, experiences of grief are shortened dramatically, because you allowed the energy to express itself. And as such, the energy is transmuted and ultimately dissipated. Yeah? So instead of blocking emotions within yourself, let them flow, let go of muscle resistance, stay with your consciousness below the belly button, deeply in the stomach. So you breathe deeply and you do not block any energy flowing in the system. Do not build up muscle tension. And, for example, become deeply one with sadness when you experience it. And then you will find something beyond it. Contemplate about that. Be well.